While walking around Florida in the sun, Jeff Longo found a furry critter on the sidewalk. He had absolutely no experience in rescuing animals. He was a devoted and compassionate person, and sometimes that's enough. You can do anything with the help of the internet. He did not let his lack of experience be an obstacle and made sure that the animal would be healthy again. However, he was shocked when he learned the truth about the quirky creature. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The story took place in 2013. While taking a walk, Jeff Longo found a furry animal. The man from Tampa saw that the animal was not well. He thought the heat must have been too intense for the poor animal. He brought her to his home in St. Petersburg. After a while, he decided to give the animal a name. He called her Biscuits and took care of her all by himself. He knew absolutely nothing about the animal, except that it needed care and love. Fortunately, the animal was in good hands. She must have been happy about that. Longo took to Reddit to ask if anyone had any idea what kind of animal it was. Unfortunately, most of the comments were from people who said he would never be able to raise Biscuits all by himself. However, he didn't just let it go. After some more digging, he found the answer he wanted. He found out that Biscuits was a southern flying squirrel. This animal species lives mainly in forests and forests. Trees are their habitat. In addition, Longo saw that their diet mainly consists of seeds, fruits, nuts, and insects. They also eat birds and eggs. The southern flying squirrel is a nocturnal animal. Young squirrels are often very dependent on their mother for the first 2 months. For some reason, Biscuits was separated from her family. This meant that Longo was only serving as a mother in the meantime. For 2 months, he took the animal with him wherever he went. Even to work, he fed the animal from the bottle. That's how she stayed healthy. His effort was rewarded. Every day, Biscuits got stronger and bigger. The squirrel also gained some four-legged friends who became her family. We are, of course, talking about the dogs in the Longo household. Biscuits was raised by a human, so there is a small chance that she would survive in the wild. Despite this, she can jump from many pieces of furniture in a house. Longo said, "She runs up to me like I'm a big tree. Then she jumps up and back. Then she gets excited. She starts chirping. And it starts all over again." In general, the Longo household is doing very well. He admitted that he once thought he had lost her. "We're sure this was stressful," Longo said. As she started to get mobile, she escaped. "The next day, I found her in the bathtub." She may be a little naughty, but Longo is in love with his little furry orb. He said, "She has a big cage and can pretty much walk around the house when I'm there to keep an eye on things. She wouldn't last another 5 minutes in the wild. She is very friendly to people and not afraid of animals." Looks like Biscuits has made it her own too. She often lies in a hammock or in the pocket of his shirt. That's her favorite place. They are excited about the future. Flying squirrels can live up to 10 years. After caring for and raising her, Longo let the critics know that he had succeeded. It was admirable that he had made Biscuits healthy despite his lack of experience. On top of that, they loved seeing how cute the squirrel was. "From now on, it is my life mission to have a sweet animal in my pocket," commented one of the users. Another said, "Everyone should have a bag squirrel as a sidekick." Do you think that's a good idea? We would love it if that is a future trend. However, it turns out that you don't have to go through so much effort to care for a poor animal. The Good Samaritan in this next story was even in the same situation when he came home one day. When he got back to his apartment in New York, he saw a little bug on his bed. Many small animals go inside to avoid the unrest outside. However, there was something special about this visitor. An incredible surprise awaited on the bed, hidden under the pillow. There were 2 baby animals, but how did they ever get there? One of the animals is now called Little Thumb. Not only does her name come from a fairy tale, but the backstory also looks just like a fairy tale. However, the story is not fiction. It all started on a cold New York City morning in March 2016. The truth is that a group of construction workers in the city demolished their mother's nest. Now the poor animal was homeless. The pregnant mother decided to look for another place to give birth. If you ask us, you can never underestimate a mother's instinct. To be more specific, the animal climbed into an apartment on the 10th floor. She entered through an open window. It was warm and comfortable, so it was the perfect place to give birth to her 2 daughters. The biggest surprise, however, was the 2 eastern gray squirrels lying under his pillow. This man didn't know what to do with the squirrels. He had no idea how to help them. It was a good thing he knew someone who did. He ended up calling a bunch of local zookeepers. The couple came over immediately. At that point, the husband and wife hoped to reunite the mother and her babies. But just 2 hours after giving birth, the mother was hesitant to claim her 2 babies. She was probably scared because of the presence and actions of the rescuers. As you may have guessed, one of the babies died in the absence of the mother. The Reyes couple decided to take the other home. She called her Little Thumb, after the fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. The rescuers planned to raise her and then release her back into the wild. We are releasing nearly all of the squirrels we rescued back into the wild, reads a statement on the squirrel's official blog. But Little Thumb was a special case. Due to the extraordinary circumstances of the squirrel's birth and what happened next, the animal grew up very differently. The blog continues, due to an abnormal birthing season and the death of his sister, Thumbs Up grew up all alone and did not learn how to interact with other squirrels. By the time the regular birthing season came, Thumbs Up was too old to bond with others of her kind. That's exactly why the Reyesen took her to a veterinarian who specializes in wildlife. The experts heard there that the squirrel's natural habitat was no longer safe for her. They had the option to put her to sleep, but they didn't worry about it. Ultimately, the rescuers wanted to give Little Thumb a chance at life. The Reyesen eventually decided to adopt Little Thumb as their own pet. It's a good thing they made that choice. After all, the squirrel would have had a short life otherwise. Little Thumb is not really a typical squirrel. I love Little Thumb so much, Christina confesses. In addition, she says, my husband and I knew we never wanted children, but Thumbs Up is our baby. She is my best friend. Every day I look forward to spending time with her. When I'm feeling down, she comes to me for a hug. While Little Thumb doesn't seem very interested in other squirrels, he does something for his kind. Little Thumb is now our little squirrel ambassador. The blog reads, she helps us by teaching people the importance of treating wildlife with kindness and respect and spreading that message. Every small life is big to the one who lives it. The night before Little Thumb turned 5 years old, she was chewing a hazelnut when the husk got stuck in her mouth. Her owners took her to the vet. It was a lucky accident because there it was found that a tumor was growing on one of Little Thumb's teeth. They might have found this out much too late otherwise. The Reyes couple were shocked when they heard from the vet that their sweet pet had a tumor. The doctor reassured them and said that Little Thumb would most likely survive if she was operated on. There was one problem, however, that surgery was on the pricey side. The Reyes couple did not have it very wide and wanted at all costs to have Klein Duham operated on. They decided to do a fundraiser through their blog. The goal was to raise $12,000. They succeeded, in fact. They raised as much as $50,000. The surgery went well and Little Thumb is still enjoying life with her 2 loving owners. It is and remains a special squirrel with a beautiful story, and we hope that she lives happily for years to come.